Hi everyone, thank you for joining in. Please wait a moment. We have some more people to join in and we shall begin shortly.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. Sorry for the delay. We are just waiting for some other people to join, but I think we are pretty much into the webinar and we can get started. Thank you so much for joining. I'll quickly share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about how AI powered tools and solutions can help automating the travel businesses. Now, travel has so many different uh, sub verticals, I should say, because we have been working around travel for pretty long, and almost for the last 13 years, working with so many different companies, and we have our own transportation solutions which are being used for so many different type of travel businesses. So we have seen that how AI has come into the travel businesses, and how a lot of top businesses have started using AI for pretty long time. Okay, even if as consumers, when we started utilizing all these tools, all these top travel businesses, they have started utilizing them for pretty long back, and that's why a lot of top platforms, travel platforms, or even travel agencies which we have in touch with, we are able to see that, or maybe we are already being treated by a good amount of their AI-based capabilities. Okay, and we'll come to each of them one by one. So before I move into that, I'll just take you through what we are going to be discussing today. In our agenda, we are going to be talking about the challenges in the travel industries. We'll be looking into some of the case studies of what top travel businesses are doing. And then we'll see that what type of solutions can be all these travel companies are utilizing already, and probably you can also start thinking about those. And then there are few small tools and POCs we can show. Those are all internally created for our or this for this webinar purpose, and you'll be able to see how those tools can be useful to you. Here's the team that have been working behind this workshop for quite amount of time, because anything, any webinar workshop that we do, we have to do a good amount of research. Okay, so it's like it takes almost 30 to 40 days of research by this team, and we have built some smaller tools just to show you that how these tools can be useful to you. We have done research around what are the challenges, what are solutions other companies are doing. We have done certain level of workflows, and we'll be able to showcase you some of those. Okay, to give you a brief about me, I am the CEO and co-founder of Innofied and All Right Apps. Okay, and in Innofied, we have been for the last 13 years, we have been building a lot of top SaaS and AI-based softwares, automation softwares for startups and enterprises. And obviously, we work with a different other industry as well, but travel and transport has been one of our core industry. And then All Right Apps is a SaaS-based software that have been used by a good number of companies all around the globe for the last 3 years. Okay, and we are into transportation, we are into delivery management, we are using a lot of different type of AI capabilities. We are partnered with more than 50 different companies there. And talking to all these companies, working with all these companies have given us a lot of knowledge about how AI, how they are having challenges, and how different type of software solutions, automation solutions can be utilized there. So we have looked into dynamic pricing, we have looked into predictive analytics. We may not go into each of them here because, again, as I mentioned earlier, travel is a very, very big domain, right? And if you look into air travel, if you look into water travel, ground transportation, there are so many things associated with travel. We may probably only focus on a few key areas, maybe focus on majorly the travel agencies where they can start utilizing all these different type of AI tools. And another thing is, I am already authoring a book with Appress on how AI automation, how multi-agent AI automation can be used by different type of businesses. Okay, and that this type of workshops also give me a lot of feedback from your end. Okay, that how you are having challenges, whatever solutions you are looking for, and I'm discussing this type of pointers along with a lot of industry veterans in my book. Okay, so I'm sure that this is not going to be only one specific, from my end, it is not going to be only one way communication. That's why we mentioned it as a workshop. If you have questions, if you have any pointers to share, feel free to write down on the chat, and we'll go back to each of them at the end of the workshop, or maybe sometime in between as well. So let us get started with some of the case studies. Okay, and all these top companies, pretty big companies, big platforms, they are using AI for pretty long time. Okay, one of the topmost companies I can mention, this Booking.com or even Expedia.com. All these companies have started utilizing AI and generative AI almost from the start when ChatGPT was first launched, right? So when we are all thinking about how ChatGPT can be useful, how consumers, we are trying to see how this is a very nice tool for all of us to try on. All these bigger companies have already started partnering with OpenAI. Okay, so you'll see that they have launched in June 2023. That means they have already started working probably on this 1 or 2 years back, right? And they are pretty big platform. Yes, there are so many different users. So that means with OpenAI, they have a very, very big partnership. And even their case study, very, very nice detailed case study is available on OpenAI website itself. Okay, and you can go and read about that, and you see that how they have implemented it. I am just covering it in short here. So what they did is, they have created a basic GPT-4 level chat interface, right? But after that, all their conversations, everything started passing on via the such queries, right? So any conversation that we are doing, right, it is now going to that chat interface, right? And then that is going inside their their major AI system, right? Where you see that there's a plain text structure, it converts into a structured search. So we are writing questions in a human format, right? And it is giving us the response in a proper structured, in between a lot of things are happening there. So it is taking the human format, converting into specific plain text, dividing into multiple parts, right? And then it is taking it to the machine language learning model, right, which is getting into its own database, finding out the data and providing the best recommended data set, right? So that is one of the ways all these top platforms have started utilizing, right? So we earlier we used to select something, we used to select date and time. Now you are pretty much open to start even writing stuff on your own, even with a lot of spelling mistakes. You do not need to bother about if there's a spelling mistake or if you have written something wrong, because the engine sitting in between, they are able to understand that and immediately give you the result that you are wishing for, right? So things have started changing, and I'm sure that if you look into how you are operating, maybe you are having a website and your customers are coming to the website and you have probably a search option, maybe other options, but this is where you need to start thinking of replacing
Hey,
the
babe, you can go ahead and get ready. Oh, sorry. I thought I was on mute. My apologies.
noise. So even if you have a basic search option, think of now replacing that with an AI based search, and it doesn't take a lot of time or cost to build something like that. All you have to do is you have to you have to give that option to the your customers, right? So instead of always thinking that there can be a chat bot or something like that, specifically if you are into travel business, you should be thinking of replacing your search box by an AI powered one. We'll come to that later, but that is just an input. Second was Cruise Planner, right? So Cruise Planner, they have created a CP Max CRM platform. Okay, so that's a chat GPT based AI for trip planning and recommendation. So all this Expedia and booking.com, and then all this Cruise Planner, all these platforms are ultimately creating a recommendation engine. Now, how this recommendation engine works? It works only because they have so much data, right? And then someone asking for anything, it it looks into not only one or two specific data points, it looks into so many different type of data points, right? And it is providing you the recommendation based on demographics, your previous cookie data, your location, your the time of the year, so many things it can take care of, right? And then it can provide you the recommended results. Plus, you see that they have started utilizing AI. A lot of us also probably started using that. They have started utilizing AI for generating content. So newsletter, post, proposals, social media content. They have built this CP Max system. It has all these different type of tools, right, which helps them in marketing, in branding, in customer acquisition, in operation management, in customer service, in customer all the feedback management, everything. They have built a single system. And when you are going to be thinking about that also, you should be thinking of a single system instead of separate softwares for that. Third is Priceline. Okay, so Priceline, they have a assistant, AI assistant. They have called it and named it Penny AI Assistant, right? So that's more like a 24/7 chatbot for support, that for bookings and recommendations. And we have already built such recommendation platforms for our customers also. Like they said that, hey, my customers come to my website and they have questions, and then they come to me on WhatsApp, and probably I'm driving at that point of time and they're asking a question, I'm not able to give an answer, right? Now that were replaced by putting just a basic chatbot, right? But today customers are very smart, right? Before booking, they have no issue, and believe me, they are very happy to talk to an AI assistant. Okay, they may want to talk to a real person when the booking is done. They have already spent money and they now want a more personalized conversation there. But before that, even I do that, I do not want to talk to someone who can be a salesperson, right? I would be rather more interested in talking to an AI assistant if that assistant can really help me in getting the information that I need. Okay, so a lot of cases I go to these websites and we build this type of tools for our customers where they ask and they say that, hey, I want this, right? And it just do not connect to another customer support agent, right? It gives all the information. It even gives you an option to select a date, make a booking, even take the payment from the same bot, right? So things are changing, right? And if you're thinking about that, it takes a lot of time and cost to build something like that. It doesn't. Okay, all you have to do is you have to really think that, yeah, your customers are looking for something like that. So that is one thing. You see, they have a dynamic pricing concept. A dynamic pricing concepts are used by all these top companies like Airbnb, Booking.com. All of them are continuously doing it. Okay, and so depending on the time of the year, depending on if there is an event, depending on the demand up to in a certain region, right? It is continuously changing the pricing. Okay, and I don't know. I mean, if you are having a platform, if you are having a website, how you are providing your pricing, all I'm saying is that all top travel businesses are utilizing dynamic pricing. Okay, and if you are showing any pricing, maybe for booking a car, maybe for booking a hotel, something, you can think of a dynamic pricing concept. Okay, and the pricing concept doesn't need to be associated with a lot of different points. It can be associated with specific small points, like how many people are coming to your website on, on a certain time of the year. If you just go to your analytics, you'll see that it has a trend. Okay, and that trend is similar every year. Okay, so maybe certain times of the year, the there's a spike, right? So if there is a spike, that means more number of people are coming to your website, more number of people are looking for uh, options there, right? So at that time, depending on the demand or depending on the type of bookings you are already getting, you can start changing your pricing to from a static to a dynamic one. Okay, and all these companies have reported how they have almost increased their revenue by more than 50% with a dynamic pricing. Okay, because it all depends on if you're using Uber, if you're using any type of all this transport software, you see how they are doing it, right? And there are so many points, there are so many data points they are utilizing. Like if it is booked from iPhone, uh, the booking price is high, right? If your battery is low, your booking price is high. So all you see that, they are just finding out all the smaller points where human psychology is associated, right? And accordingly, you can think of dynamic pricing. So you can start with 1 or 2 points, and eventually you can start improving that. Okay, so these are three, there are so many of them, and you do not, if you want to just learn about it, you can go to ChatGPT, ask about it, and all these informations are out there. Okay, what is more important for you to understand what small AI capability you can bring into to your customers, and that can start help you do a better business. Okay, so we'll talk about the major challenges in the industries, and accordingly we'll focus on a few areas that we can discuss in this webinar, because again, travel industry is huge, the challenges are huge, and we can only focus on few areas where AI within your within your affordability, within your capability, how early you can bring in something new. That is something we are going to be seeing in this webinar. So far, everything that we discussed, if you have any question, any pointers, feel free to put it on the chat. Again, if you have seen something, I may give you option to probably speak also at a later point of time, but feel free to put your questions there so that we can get back to those at the end of the webinar. Now, what are the major challenges faced by the travel businesses? There are so many different type of them, but if we look into the top 4 5, here are those. Number one, the rising costs and shrinking commissions, right? So everything, if travel related stuff, we are talking to so many travel businesses on a regular basis, the costs are always high. It is becoming very high in terms of how their customer acquisition cost, their operational cost, their everything associated with the travel business are increasing, right? And then if you are dependent on commissions, right, it is reducing significantly, right? So you see that travel agencies face labor issues, technology and utility costs, right? And then your commissions, if you're dependent on these top platforms, that's just 5 to 7%, right? And in all these online travel agencies, right, who take almost 15 to 30% of the cut. And you know that all they are pretty big. Everyone goes to that. I mean, even I need to book something, I go to a booking.com or Airbnb first, right? Even if there are so many travel businesses, I could go to them. The first thing comes in my mind, their mobile app, their everything is good, right? Everything is so nice there. Okay, I don't bother much. I don't care about anyone else. I'll just go there because the options for me is the highest, right? So today, if you are using Uber or Lyft or any top, all these transportation companies, and maybe there are some smaller companies out there, but you use Uber more, the only reason is the number of drivers, the possibility of getting a driver is much higher there, right? So the same thing happens for any type of travel business also. Customers are looking for more options, and wherever they find more options, they will go there. Why go for, why think of something else? And we all are becoming so much technically advanced, right? So we do not need to depend on, what used to be like 10, 20 years back. Things have changed significantly. So rising costs and shrinking commissions is one of the major challenge in the travel business. The next one is the online travel. Again, the same thing, and the customer control, loss of customer control. If you're getting data via an online travel agency, that means you are not having control of the data. And when I'm talking about the data, it is not just the contact details, right? You have so much data that you can utilize. If you're able to bring someone to your website, right? Now you can retarget that person, right, via social media channels, via Google Ads, via different possibilities. But if everyone is going to the booking.com or this type of platforms, right, you lose all these options, right? So you see that in the OTS dominates all the search rankings. Anything you search, their search results are at the top. People are searching there. Even in a property we search, your results are not going to be coming there. Even the property's own website doesn't come at the top, right? But then all these platforms information come at the top. I'm not saying that they are doing a great job, all these online travel agencies, but then other businesses like you have to survive and you have to become big, right? So we have to see that, how these challenges how these challenges we can sort out a bit with some of the AI capabilities. The third one is to struggle to keep up with the tech-driven customer expectation, and that is what you're talking about, right? Everyone is now going via, finding out all the information about travel or transport related information via the digital platforms, right? And if you go to all these individual travel agency website, and we talk to so many different travel agencies, some of them are pretty big, right? But they are the front that they have, even the basic website is not operating pretty well. They have issues with booking management. They are depending on third-party companies who are taking commissions there, and they are not happy with the solutions. We have tried to implement our transportation and travel solutions with their businesses, and they have different unique challenges, right? A lot of companies who are not very small, they have already accustomed themselves to a specific type of workflows, right? So that is how they have been operating, and their employees are operating. And if they are looking for a single platform that will help them solve all their challenges, they see that they have to change their present business workflow to a completely new software. Okay, so even a lot of people, we have seen that they have adopted such softwares, they have eventually churned out because they say that, hey, we are not able to utilize your system because we operate in this way. Can you build something like that? And all of us, our ways of doing business are different, right? If you want a single platform that will solve all your needs, that doesn't exist. If you want to build that, it is costly, and it is not only costly, it is very costly to maintain that as well, right? So you are dependent on only having a website. You have to keep on improving that as well. You have to keep on adding information there, and every year you come up with ideas that, hey, can we do something like that? So you have to go back to the same website company or whoever has developed it, right? And you have to, either they are charging high or they are incapable of actually giving it how you want it, right? So technology adaptation has changed significantly. Even if all these bigger companies are utilizing technology and all these AI capabilities in a much smoother manner, smaller companies are facing so much issues. Okay, there's not a lot easy solution to it, but good thing is all these new AI tools and AI coding tools, they have made life a little bit easier. Okay, so if you can start utilizing some of them and plan to add some advanced capabilities on your website, that will really put you ahead of the game. Okay, again, much difficult to always compete with all these online travel agencies, right? But after them, you can be one of the top competitor. Fourth is the critical staffing shortage and the skills gap. I think this is there everywhere, but pandemic has hit the travel businesses maximum, right? So 76% of the travel companies report staffing shortages, right? And one of the major challenges that happens, like I travel so much, and I have found that, see, travel companies are completely, timing dependent, right? So sometimes they are having a very huge rush, right? Sometimes they are pretty much down, right? So it becomes difficult for them to always have, unless they are a lot cash positive company, they are either dependent on contractors, right? People who are going to be uh, not available full time, right? Because they have to then pay for the rest of the 4 or 6 months of the year where the business is pretty much down, right? And then there is a very less chance, if you are only hiring contractors, you will get the same contractors at next year, right? So that hits your customer experiences significantly. So very difficult, I mean, this is something uh, travel businesses faces the maximum. Okay, not an easy solution to this, because in travel we all wait for, once we reach the location, once we are already there, we want someone to be there for us, right? And this part is very difficult to solve. Okay, maybe a lot of things you can solve there in the marketing and business and other aspects with AI, with software, with technology, and maybe take that money and put it into customer experience. That can be one of the best ways to solve this challenge. And then there are customer acquisition costs, which has changed significantly, right? After pandemic, everything has changed, and customer acquisition cost has increased almost 35%. This is not just a data, it is a proper research data that shows that it has increased 35%, right? So booking abandonment rates is at the 81 to 87%, okay, which is much higher than anything else. I mean, it happens to me also. At the point of making a payment, I go back into a thinking mode, that is this the right choice, or I'll have to discuss with my team, or the people who will be going, I'll be going ahead with. And then agencies again cannot compete with the online travel agencies' superior acquisition budgets, right? So they can spend so much money, and most of the cases you see, they are, if they are very big, right, Airbnb or booking.com or expedia.com, they are spending much lesser ad budget for a single click than what you are going to be spending. I mean, that is how it happens, right? All these bigger companies, what they do is they directly go and partner with all these ad companies. So they go partner with Facebook, they go partner with Instagram, they go partner, I mean, Facebook and Instagram are both same. They go partner with Google, saying that, hey, I'm going to give you this amount of total money, okay, and I need this type of results. And Google is looking into this type of big amount, right? Google is not dependent. If Google is getting money from you, Google is not getting a lot bulk money from you, right? For all these bigger companies, they can make bulk payment and they can get all these clicks almost 20 times cheaper than what you are going to be spending. So that's why anything that you search on Google, and you see that, I mean, I'm talking about travel perspective, booking.com, airbnb.com, they comes up at the top, right? And if you're clicking on them, they are spending money, and you are thinking, hey, they are spending so much money. No, they are not, right? 20 clicks is one click for you. Okay, so uh, again, until unless you become that big, you are always going to have this type of challenges. And then what are the other challenges? There are service quality issues, right? Hard to keep standards high, continuously maintaining the same standards, very difficult maintaining the, customers giving bad reviews. uh, Working on those and continuously improving that is one of the major challenge. Economic uncertainties there, supply chain disruptions, flight and vendor delays not in our hand. And then airlines by hotels, they also bypass agencies. That is another challenge. And then poor mobile booking experience. I have added it there because even if it doesn't look at par with the other challenges, but this is a big challenge. Okay, a lot of sites I still go, I do not find a good booking experience until and unless they are, uh, they are competing, they are already integrating a third-party booking system. Their booking flows are not very much mobile. Uh, uh, it's not very mobile friendly. So in general, you see, these are some of the major challenge in the travel industry. And here, whatever we are going to be discussing, we may not be able to talk about all of them. Okay, so we can, when all the travel business I talk to, whether they are small or whether they're mid-size or big size, if they are small or mid-size companies, they are small companies, their major challenges are getting maximum number of customers. Okay, so they are continuously looking for options on what they can do to get more number of bookings. Okay, so that is their main concern. Okay, because if they are operating in a smaller scale, they know that their personalized experience are pretty much on a higher side. Okay, so owners are getting involved, owners family members are getting involved, their friends are getting involved sometimes. So all of them are providing a very good experience. Okay, so customer experience still stays at a pretty nice stage when they are small. Okay, so they are more concerned about, hey, how I can get more number of bookings, right? And so marketing and sales become one of the major challenges. Once they start becoming going to the mid scale, right? So they are this challenge still stage, right? So, I mean, they want more bookings, they want more better marketing, better more customers. On the other hand, they have started seeing operational challenges. Okay, so they are now having issues that, hey, managing all these people are becoming difficult. I have to be on continuously on calls, right? So I'm not able to take a day off. And then people are retention is one of the major challenge, as we have seen. And then uh, putting everything into a platform and having that visibility, that becomes a major challenge. So it is like they know what they want, but they do not know how to uh, build a system like that. And they have monetary challenges. They cannot spend like a huge amount of money, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 US dollar to build a complete technology system which can support their present business operation. Okay, so they look for third-party softwares. And when they look for third-party software, they try to find out a single system which can solve all their needs. If they do not find it, they are dependent on individual systems. So there's a CRM, there's an email marketing software, there's a travel management system, and all of them are supposed to be connected together. Sometimes it doesn't, right? And the connectivity issue is there. Okay, I mean, it's not like it is only their issue. We are into technology business for so many years, more than 15 years. We still have those type of issues. Using multiple tools, we always feel like wish there's a single system that had given us all the information in front of us the way I want it. Maybe eventually we'll be building something like that. We are internally creating so many different tools. But as a technology company, it is hard for me. It is going to be much harder for all these mid-sized companies. And then if we go to the bigger size companies, their challenges are probably they have already sorted out their booking related stuff. They want to now improvise their customer experience. They want to have better operational. They want to have better management, right? So all these different areas, and then they can think of adding more AI capabilities in terms of dynamic pricing, predictive analytics, putting all their data together, better, that is called reputation management, reputation management, meaning proper brand mention management. If talking about brand mention management, what does that mean? Your brand is mentioned in different places, in different parts different type of platforms, right, on Facebook, on Instagram, right? So somehow there are tools which can find out all these data points and show you that, hey, your brand is mentioned here as a positive way, or this, your brand is mentioned here as a negative way. And then there are reviews and all of them coming together inside a separate brand reputation management system, right? So they are continuously looking for how they can improvise to the next level. So what we'll do here today, we'll just take you through some of the tools we have looked into and how you can very easily, with very least effort, you can build something like it. If you have already built something, this type of tools is great. If you haven't, if you can think of something, utilizing this type of tools, or maybe you can start utilizing third-party tools. We have knowledge about advanced technology concepts there, in terms of predictive analytics, there in terms of, complex dynamic pricing, utilizing map data, and all of them. Will not go to all these capabilities. We'll talk about basic things, majorly how you can get better customers, more customers, right? Having a better marketing and better customer acquisition. And then we can also find out some areas where customer service and customer support can also be improved. Some of your operational concepts can be improved. Okay, give me a minute. I just get a bottle of water for doing that. Sorry for that. So let's see what all the top businesses, if you look into travel agencies, okay, if you look into all these travel companies, if we keep aside all these top travel platforms and air travel and airlines and all, if we skip those, right, we'll try to see that what AI capabilities all these travel companies have started using now, maybe in the last 2-3 years. So first of all, the most important and the something most common, right? You see that the conversational AI and chatbots. Okay, from the day ChatGPT has come, right, generative AI has become such a big thing. Okay, so everyone is trying to find out how they can utilize the conversational AI. Sorry. So now all these tools, all these chatbot platforms like Intercom and Rift and all, they were basic chatbot, and they have started adding certain level of automation. But then conversational AI has made all of them bigger, right? So you can start having a bot there. You can utilize this type of tools. You can train them, right? And it's not very cheap. Like we also use Intercom. Basic Intercom packages starts with like $70-$80 per month. But if you go on the higher side, if you want to train them properly, if you want to get more capabilities there, your cost can easily go from $200 to $300 per month. Drift is much higher. So again, their processes are same. You will be providing your data, you'll be providing your knowledge base, right? And accordingly some all your bots will be giving better answers. So you are continuously training your bots, right? And your bots are giving answers to the and your bots are giving answers to the uh, customers, right? So that is where conversational AI and chatbots have become such big thing, right? But again, when you're talking about having this search box, right? If you're into travel business, right, think think of having a chatbot there. That is surely important, but make sure your chatbot, your search box takes the same type of questions, right? So today, if you go to Google and you can just search anything, you see that Google is giving at the top an AI answer, right? We expect that. If it is removed, we will find out that there is a void, right? If you look into Perplexity's Comet browser, right, you ask a question there on the browser top, it automatically gives you the answers in Perplexity's chat box, right? So our searches have changed into that. We may not want to just initiate a conversation. We want a search field where we want to put a question and you give me an answer. Okay, so It doesn't need to have a specific chat window opened. It's fine to have a chat option, right? But put it inside your main platform. So that is one of the major areas all these top travel companies are utilizing conversational AI. And you have to think about it. That is the first thing you should have in your, whether you're having a website or however your customers are interacting with you. Second is personalized itinerary planning. This is important if you have a good number of listings on your platform, right? So you can give an option that, hey, you ask me a question, instead of going through a search, ask me a question and let me answer there. And most of the cases, if people are searching on Google, people are searching on big platforms, their searching mechanism is much advanced, right? If you are using, probably you have 300 or 500 data sets, right? Maybe your search is not that advanced, right? So most of the cases you are not able to probably give the right type of information to your customers. So you can change that. Instead of putting it, having that type of basic search, put the AI model in between and let it do the work. We'll look into it how it can be done, but it can start giving you a better research data. Third is dynamic pricing and commission optimization, right? So this is the area all these travel companies are using. So if you are a mid-sized business and if you already have third parties who are probably working under you and you are giving commissions to them, right? So here you can utilize a dynamic pricing system or a improved commission system, right? Based on what results you are getting. Again, this part is a little complex one, but if you are generating good revenue and you think that dynamic pricing can help you, this is an area worth trying. Okay, you do not need to create a complex system. Start with something basic and eventually you'll see that how it is giving you better benefits. Fourth is automated document and compliance processing. Okay, so this is again, you may not need it, but if you need it, there are third-party tools. Makes it much easier today. Okay, even today itself, I was talking to one company. They were mostly into last mile, but then they are also working with into travel, right? And they were talking about that, hey, how we can improvise our complete document process and a little bit of fraud detection and all. Okay, and we're talking about all the third-party tools out there which can help you in this part. Fifth, this is very important, your customer acquisition and conversational lead capture, that is qualifying 24/7, right? So if you travel, right, a lot of people are coming to your platform with your website. They're coming from so many different places, and you can see that in how automated bots can help you there. It's not only chat, it can be calls, it can be even avatar based video, interactive videos, right? How people can start giving you answers, right? And then the sixth part, probably you are already doing your marketing and content automation that stays on brand. There's a good amount of content automation all these marketing companies are doing. You can add further capabilities to that, just not using a chat GPT type of tool. You can start utilizing some of these tools. So I'll take you through this our platform, something that we have built. And you see, this is just for the workshop we have built it. Okay, for the sake of showing you what type of tools can be utilized. Okay, so first we have created a basic chatbot. Okay, so it's like a travel booking assistant. Creating such a chatbot is very easy, right? You can create a chatbot and it is trained in such a way that you can communicate with this chatbot, and the chatbot can start asking you questions. So you want to go to somewhere and you have certain questions, and the chatbot's final goal is to get the lead information. Okay, so you see that we have a way to get the lead collection process. Okay, the chatbot, we start having all the communication, and accordingly it can take all the information from the customer and add it as a lead to your system. Building such a chatbot is pretty easy. Okay, and here you see that if I want to have a chat, you see that I can ask a question that, hey, where to go? Hey, I want to, I don't know if it is train, I want to go to Paris. Give me a few options. I'm not sure if it is going to give me good results. You see how the questions are being asked, right? So you can say the travel dates, first November to 10th November, and then budget is say 30,000 USD, and then number of people is 8, right? So you see, I mean, I'm not going to go very deep into it, but these things do not take a lot of time to create. Okay, you can create a basic chatbot. You do not need to depend on a third-party system, or even you can have a third-party system. You can train it according to your information, and then it will start giving you answers. And you can restrict it that, hey, give information or give all this data should be from my end only. It should not be going out to get any other data. But eventually, it can communicate and take the lead information. Okay, something probably you are already missing out. People are coming to your website, seeing all your static data, and then they are not converting. They are just going away. And once they are going away, you have no way to convert them, right? And people are not interested in just filling up a form today. Okay, people are more interested in communication. Okay, and they want to talk to you. If I'm getting this type of answers, I'll be very happy to keep on continuing the conversation to see how much I can get. Ultimately, I just need real information, and then the bot giving me a proper data, not bullshit information, is fine. I'm happy with that. Second is the knowledge base training. This is what I was talking about, that you can have a knowledge base created, right? And this type of like knowledge base, I can add a few number of PDFs. So maybe you are operating in this business for the last 10 years. You have so much information, you have so much data saved somewhere in documents. You can create all this document. You want to fine tune your chatbot that, hey, if someone is asking you this question, you give this answer. Okay, your policies are uploaded there. You have certain questions, you have timings. All this data are all added as part of the knowledge base training. Now this chatbot will be then automatically trained with your knowledge base data, and it can start giving you answers accordingly. So this is talking about the basic chatbot. The same knowledge base training can be utilized for your search box, because your search box is ultimately more like operating as a bot. It is just an agent sitting there, right? An agent which is trained by you, an agent trained by your information. You have told it, hey, this is how I'm supposed to give answers, right? And you can find out gaps. And with this type of tools, you can, it can be optimized in such a way that it will find out the gaps, and it will tell me, hey, this question a customer has asked and I was not able to answer. So that information will come to you automatically saying that, hey, say, John, a customer asked this question, I didn't have an answer, right? So next time you go to your knowledge base, right, and update that information that if someone is asking this question, this should be the answer. So you are continuously fine tuning it. Okay, and everything lies into the fine tuning part. Technology is not a big deal here nowadays. Okay, but the type of information you are providing to that model, right, and you're continuously improving that model, that is what is important. Third is outreach. Okay, so outreach I'll talk about here. You see that there's an option for start a call. Okay, there are third-party tools which are integrated here. Like we have utilized Twilio and 11 Labs. Okay, what it does, you can have an outreach process. Okay, so I don't know if you are generating business that way, right? But if you want to generate business, if you have a database, and what do? You have someone who is making the calls, right? You do not need to do that. Okay, you can now replace that with an AI agent. Now you see the AI agent, doesn't it sound robotic? It will not. Okay, what you can do here, first you can train that agent with your knowledge base. That's the first thing. Second, you can give that agent a voice of your own. Okay, so it can take your voice. You can upload some of your audios, and it will be automatically taking your voice, your way of speaking. If you want to train them by someone else's voice, that will also work. Okay, so it has asked a question. I'll come to that later. So again, you in it is going to be taking your voice, right? So if you want to have your own voice, that will work, right? Third, if you're using a tool like 11 Labs, which is supporting 150 plus languages, okay, depending on the type of customers, if you provide the data, it will start communication in that language. And then because it is, this agent is so much trained, so much knowledge base it has, it may continuously do the communication. Okay, so I want to show it here, but it'll just take time. But it is integrated. It will initiate a conversation. It will ask a question, and someone is answering a question, and this person will be giving answers from the knowledge base. Again, if it gets the answer, it will give it that answer. If it doesn't get an answer, it will say that, hey, I do not have an answer. You know, again, for that type of stuff, you can again train that agent that if you are not having an answer, you just say this, or maybe connect to a real agent. But you can give, you see, we have mentioned it as a batches, right? So you can have a list of say 500 people, schedule a timing and go to sleep, and you'll know that all this your bots are continuously giving calls, maybe via Twilio or some other tools, right, in your voice with your knowledge base, communicating, capturing information, capturing meeting data, capturing some lead information, capturing their interest, saving it into your database, right? That is something we have been doing with emails, right? So maybe, we have been doing email campaigns and stuff. Things have changed, and now voice campaigns are done in such a way, and people do not even understand. I have tried with my own, right? I have my own video. If I just show you that my AI avatar is speaking, you will not even differentiate. Okay, and I used HeyGen for that. HeyGen. I'll just write it there. HeyGen. You can create your own avatar there. It's a video avatar. You can train it according with your own voice and with your own videos and images. Okay, now content review. This is something different. It is more like if you are utilizing your content automation capabilities, right? Suppose we are creating social media, we also use it multiple times. We create so much content, right? And how your marketing team, or if you have a team who is creating all this content, how they are creating it, going to ChatGPT, going to Perplexity, Claude, utilizing it. You can build a small tool in between, okay, utilizing the same APIs of all these tools, right? And then there can be different type of templates you can create. We create so many templates, and then according to our needs, contents are automatically generated, right? We do not post it directly to on social media. We have a human in between. So a topic, a content is generated, it is passed by a human, right, for a basic review, and then it gets automatically scheduled. I mean, the schedule part is pretty simplified. You can use any tool for that, or even do it manually. But again, content generation, branding and all are one of the major areas where you can utilize it. Content review comes there only, that any content you generate, it can also be passed via content reviews, just to ensure that it is passing all the checklists, that hey, there must be brand mention, it must not be taking this type of information. I mean, a lot of things you can again train. So anything that you do, you see there is an entry process, right? And that entry process comes into, different type of workflows are there. If I go to the presentation, I'll show you some of these workflows.
Decidió la administración del presidente Trump para el gobierno de Gustavo Petro.
Um, someone asking a question, I'm not able to hear. Okay, moving on. So knowledge base, you see that how a knowledge base is created. As I was saying, that provide the information and save it, a basic knowledge base training is done. What we do, we take the data, we put into a vector database, right? And vector database saves this data in smaller formats, which is very easily understandable by all these different type of LLM models. Okay, there are some videos, when we'll share the presentation, you'll be able to see it. Now, chatbot training, you see that we provide the basic configuration, right? And then we click on auto train, and the chatbot will be automatically trained by all the communication it is already doing in terms of chats, in terms of calling, in terms of knowledge base, right? And then all the extra information together, it will be a trained chatbot. pretty simple setup. It doesn't take a lot of effort to build something like that. And then voices and training, it is the same process. You see that you click on the voice agent, right, and it will be automatically, if you want it to be automatically trained on the conversations it is already having, it can take all the conversation it has done, plus it will take the basic information, all the knowledge base information, right, and accordingly you can train it that, hey, I need this type of information or lead data to take, so that whenever it is going to be communicating, it will be asking all this data from this leads. Again, it's a basic training. Same knowledge base can be utilized for all across. So whenever you are building a system like that, whenever you are planning to build a system like that, always think that it must be your core system. It should not be individual system, because your different AI agents are supposed to be communicating with each other. Okay, so you must have a core system which should have your complete knowledge base and training data there. Okay, and then you can create different types of agent. It can be talking agent, it can be chat agent, it can be any type of AI capabilities. Okay, and the options are huge, right? But the training module has to be a single module, because that is your core area. That is something differentiates you from other businesses. So these are all the videos, you'll be able to see it. I'm not going to. So this is a batch call campaign. I've shown you how the batch call campaign is done. Again, these are just some of the basic tools. Okay, these are not necessarily you will need something like that. We wanted to show you some of the POCs, right? But if you want to build something like that, again, it is not very complex. You have to hold of an AI developer or someone who can build those things for you and have it inside your Pleasant system. But think of having a customer conversational AI on your platform, right? And think of automating certain level of your marketing and sales capabilities, right? So that will start improvising your business generation part. And the last is your customer service, right, where you can start automating some level of your customer communication integrated with a Zendex or this type of service tool, right, which can start do the communication. It can be a same or different agent, which will again have the similar type of communication, but this time it will ask different questions. It will not ask lead questions, it will be asking customer specific questions, getting the complete complaint, and add those complaints automatically inside your service desk software. These are the major three areas I propose that as a travel company you can get involved in. And there are so many areas. If you do not have any of these, this should be your starting point, and eventually you can think of adding more AI capabilities to your business. I'll not take more time. It has already passed 1 hour. I can go to the questions. I can see Shweta has asked a question. Is there any chance we can train AI using another AI via automation tools? You can do that, right? So it depends on what information you provide, right? So Sweta has asked that an AI agent can be trained by another AI, right? So it you see, whatever you train an AI agent, right, that information that you are passing must be something that you are accepting. Okay, so it is important for you to hold that data, right? If you are having too many different pointers there, and if you are not controlling that data, you do not know what your end AI agent is being trained on. Okay, so you have to control that. Right? So in any agent that you do, it is fine. Even I do it, right? I need to create something and I have to train an agent. Our team also does this, that we are continuously using deep research. We are doing other research, Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT, lot of data together, putting some effort, combining all data together, creating maybe 50-page document, right? Now this 50-page document is a huge document. Okay, but this is a knowledge base I trusted. Okay, this is a knowledge information I know it is a good information. Okay, not necessarily all the information AI is providing to you are right, because it is ultimately going to Google, finding out all this data from online. Okay, so you have to see that whether these data are right or not. As soon as you know that this data is right, you update that and provide that to your agent. You should have an option to continuously update it. Okay, because your agent will act the same way. It's just a robot, right? But your knowledge base, if it is getting changed, your model is going to be changed. Okay? And obviously you can improvise your model also depending on what you're using, whether you are creating a custom agent by your own, so you have to continuously improvise that. If you're using a model like chat OpenAI or Claude, and they are continuously improving themselves, like OpenAI 4.0 and then 5, right? So all these models are also changing. Okay, I hope this answers your question. Any more questions on this? Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I think we can finish it up here. We have here the major part what we discussed here. We have discussed some of the case studies. There are so many case studies we can look into specifically from the travel agency's point of view. We looked into the major challenges, and then we have taken only a couple of challenges majorly around the marketing and business generation part, and I have shown you some of the use cases where you can utilize AI by having conversational AI, by having lead generation or lead communication with AI, and then maybe an improved customer service aspect, right? Technically, a lot can be done there. I didn't want to make this discussion a technical discussion, but if you want to have something, maybe you can share that with us over the email when you'll get this presentation, and our next conversation can be around how AI workflows, how you can implement AI workflows, and whatever technology will be best for you to have it on your business. With that, I would like to thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Yeah, Ankita has asked if you have any of you want to speak, you can. Otherwise, I think we are pretty much good here. I do share a lot of videos on my YouTube channel around AI. Okay, so you can go to youtube.com. You can search. This is my channel name, Swarnendu De, and see some of this. I mean, I discuss about a lot of different type of case studies also, how top businesses are utilizing AI, and some of the stories are very interesting. So you can find out some of the interesting points there. I'll also talk about whatever AI capability, whatever AI technologies will be good for you if you are a beginner, if you are an advanced AI user. So do check that. Used in AI used in automation. Okay, Sweta has asked if there is a request for a workshop for AI used in automation testing. Okay, AI used in automation testing. Sweta, thank you so much for asking this question. This is a little bit technical, but I will take a note of that, and maybe we'll have a workshop around that. A lot is going on in automation testing, and then I know a good number of people, top automation testing companies, right, who will be happy to join me in those type of discussions. So we'll keep that in mind. Okay, I think we are good here. If we do not have any more questions, thank you. I'd like to thank you, everyone. It was a really nice to have all of you in this discussion, and you will have this presentation within probably by tomorrow in your inbox. Okay, and anything you need, you can always reply back there in terms of questions, or if you need any help, or if you want to build a software on AI and you need us to have a discussion with you, we'll be happy to join it. Thank you so much, everyone.